Let's create this actual budget and forecast chart in a stacked bar chart instead of vertical like our last lesson. Max and visible needs to be a little bit larger than our max value, so we're just going to add 50 to the end of that formula. But follow that exactly as shown, and max outline is going to equal that 450. So select all those cells and insert a chart. Let's click on the title and press delete, and then click on those grid lines and press delete. Now we have a lot of formatting to do, so right click and format. This one we want to do no fill, solid line in the border, and then let's pick a blue. And then let's make this thicker. 1.75 is what we're going to go with to test this out first. Remember that number. For this one, we're going to right click format again, and no fill, and a solid line on the border area, and we can go with a brighter blue. Again, let's go to 1.75 for thickness. Now this one needs to be white. It needs to match our background color because it's going to cover on top of our vertical lines and blank them out essentially. That one can be a little bit thicker at 2.25. Let's go back in here and make sure we did white. Okay, let's close out, and that's looking good. Now our last one. This is going to be the entire outline that you saw in light gray. So let's change the color on this and the fill. Solid line again, and we'll go with a gray. That can stay thinner. So close out of that and everything's looking good. Now these shades of blue are pretty good, but you could test different colors. So I'm going to change the forecast to a bright orange so it really stands out. And I accidentally filled that needed to be no fill. Now let's go to series overlap and change that to 100. What we're trying to do is get all of these bars to stack on top of each other. Max and visible and outline are really just for our purposes for the chart, so you don't really need to see that. So you can just left click on each of those and press delete. Now we could take this legend, right click on this and move it up to the top or wherever makes sense for you. And then we're going to click on the axis, and we want to change this to a max of 450, which is what you have in your chart. We don't need anything above and beyond that. That fills in the chart better. Now, if you wanted to get rid of that outline, you could go up to the select data and you could uncheck whichever ones you don't want to see. Let's just test that out and see what it looks like. It's okay. I prefer to have the outline, but if you wanted to make adjustments, you could change it. Now let's right click here on format again, and we're going to change our fill. If we wanted to go back, you'll notice it's difficult to click. So click on that little series option drop down to select the line that you want to change. So we're going to change that from blue to a gray so that it stands out better to see the forecast. And then this is how you would be able to adjust the line thickness. So just go up to series option, that little drop down, and pick whichever one you're looking to adjust. This is starting to look great. Now our next step is to click on here and press Control D because we want to duplicate this chart to change this. So go up to the top and then change the chart type, and let's do a clustered bar. So let's right click and format, and we need to change that series overlap back to 100, and then the gap width, we're going to go down a little bit to the left so that those bars or columns are thicker. And next, we deleted the one in the back. Let's move this into place. And now if you wanted to right click and format again, you could change that outline to be a little bit thinner. That's what I'm doing off to the side here. It's the exact same steps that you just did. Now it's looking great. So let's right click and add data labels. And if you wanted those to match the font of the color of the forecast, you could change that to orange and bold. And then if you wanted to do it for actual, you could do that. Right click, add data.